What is up everyone, welcome back to Mainly Movies, the channel where we talk about, well, mainly movies. So today we're going to be talking about Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. So this is episode 9 and it's the finale of the Skywalker Saga. So this is directed by J.J. Abrams and stars Daisy Ridley, John Boyega and Oscar Isaac. The story is about a signal that the group gets which may or may not have a connection to Rey.
It's an instinct. Feeling. The Force brought us together.
So basically that's all I can say about the story without spoiling anything. I'm going to get into spoilers in a minute, but for now this is not going to be spoilers. Now first of all, I want to say that this movie is a gigantic mess. For me, this movie wasn't as enjoyable as I wanted it to be. I guess I'm going to have to start off with the positives. Everybody in this movie, I mean, acting wise, they do a good job. They don't really get given much. The actual characters themselves don't really, I mean, they do stuff, but it's, the actors don't really get much to do with these characters because they're so focused on trying to wrap everything up. And yeah, but the characters are they're still the same. They're still likable characters, so yeah. And my other positive is that the third act of this movie, as silly and crazy as it gets, it's probably the most enjoyable act of the movie. The first two acts, well, I'll get into that in a minute. But one actor specifically who I've enjoyed throughout this whole sequel trilogy, and that's Adam Driver. He still does a really good job in this film, as well as he did in the other films. He is still a phenomenal actor, and I am going to review, well, I've done my review for Marriage Story. I did it weeks back, but I just haven't edited it. Anyway, he's just really good in this movie, and he's good in all of the sequel movies, and I just like the character Kylo Ren, and I feel like they didn't really give him that much to do in this movie. He just kind of appears and says some stuff, but Adam Driver still plays this character with a lot of emotion and a lot of depth. But anyway, that's the only positives I really have with this film. Everything else is just riddled with plot holes. There's a lot of what the fuck moments, really, I guess. There is some scenes that are just overly rushed, and the writing is so sloppy that I just couldn't enjoy this film. One of my main negatives was, and I guess we're going to get into spoilers now, but Palpatine's in the film, and he is the worst villain I've ever seen. He is worse than he was in Return of the Jedi. In this film, he is a weakling. He sucks. He makes me just throw up in my mouth. He is probably, yeah, he's the worst that he's ever been in this film. Palpatine in the earlier films, like, he's a bad guy, but I mean, he's still kind of, you know, really over the top, but he's still enjoyable to watch. In this film, he's not. Every time he's in a scene in this film, I just really want it to get over, and they're the longest scenes in the film. Everything else is just rushed, and I just didn't really like that. But yes, like I said, everything is really rushed. There'll be the whole first and second act of this movie is we go to a place, we grab something, it leads us to another place, that object that we're looking for leads us to another place, and it's just them going to a whole bunch of different places. Stormtroopers and the First Order just somehow know where they are this whole film, but they're always still one step behind them, and it's just really lazy writing. Everyone in this movie is just really smart. There's a scene towards the end when they're attacking like the First Order, the Empire, big massive ships. Finn says, in that ship we have to destroy that ship because there's something in the ship that we need to destroy, and they said, how do you know that? And he just kind of turns to the camera and says, I have a feeling. You have a what does that mean? Is that just like the writers falling asleep? I don't know it's upsetting to know that this is the last movie in the Skywalker saga. It's just riddled with plot holes. The characters just are super smart for no particular reason. Oh yeah, they use the Force in this movie. Rey uses the Force in this movie more than they've used it in the whole series. She just somehow knows how to do a lot of stuff, and yes, I know Leia has taught her stuff, but she's taught her a lot of stuff, and she just kind of uses everything, but she kind of uses it on a whim. She thinks, okay, I can use this at this time, and it's just, I don't know, it's a mess. They didn't take time explaining anything. I guess it's a mess because of J.J. Abrams had to take off after Rian Johnson in that last film. I honestly have to say, now that I've let this movie sink in, I like Last Jedi better than this film, because Last Jedi at least it took its time with, and I mean, yes, that movie was a bit of a mess, but it was still, you could still understand what was going on. In this film, if you left for a couple of minutes, or you even blacked out for a couple of minutes, you've missed a lot. And that's why I was scared to go to the toilet during this film, because I was scared that I was going to miss something. And the time I did go to the toilet, I didn't miss anything, thank God. But this is probably the worst Star Wars movie in my opinion. It is really, really bad. It's messy, but the positives are that the third act is somewhat enjoyable because it actually takes its time with things. Yes, there's like a big explosion, big battles and everything. That's the only reason why I like it, because there's explosions and battles, and after the mess that the first and second act was, the third act looks like fucking Citizen Kane compared to that. Anyway, I guess I'm going to give Rise of Skywalker a, I don't know, 3 out of 10. I didn't really enjoy it that much. It was a miserable film, especially knowing that now the Skywalker Saga is finished. I'm not a massive fan of Star Wars, but I still want to see a good conclusion, and I still, like, I've seen them all and I like them. I'm just not like, I don't know a lot of terminology and stuff. I've seen them a couple of times each. But to know that this is the ending of the Skywalker Saga is very, very disappointing, and that's why I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10, and I'm sticking by that. So do I recommend this movie? I do not recommend Rise of Skywalker. It's bland, it's messy, they don't give the characters much, and it's just not a very good conclusion to the saga. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.